I received this story from a viewer named Daniel. He said he wrote it at 4 a.m. because he couldn't sleep after what happened, and he needed someone to believe him. He worked the night shift at a small maintenance and supply facility in the Midwest, far from town, surrounded by empty fields and a tree line so thick it looked like a wall in the dark. He said the building always felt quiet in the wrong way. Not peaceful, just hollow, like sound didn't want to exist there. The kind of silence that makes your mind fill in the blanks. For the first few nights, he didn't notice much. Just cold hallways, old lights, and endless paperwork. But all of that changed on his 6th night. That's when he heard the first knock. His desk was positioned directly across from the basement stairwell. He told me he had asked his supervisor why the basement was padlocked, and the supervisor simply said, "We don't use it anymore." No explanation. No reason. On his 6th night, around 1:20 a.m., Daniel heard it. 3 slow knocks. Not from a wall. Not from the pipes. From the other side of the basement door. The old steel one with peeling gray paint and a lock that looked older than the building. He said it wasn't the knock that scared him. It was how patient it sounded. Like something had all the time in the world. Daniel tried to ignore it, assuming it was just temperature contraction or old metal shifting. But then he noticed something else. The air around the basement door was colder, way colder, than the rest of the building. He tested it by rolling his chair closer. The temperature drop hit his skin instantly. He said it felt like leaning toward an open freezer. But this place had no freezers. He sat back down, but the knocking didn't stop. It came again. Slower this time. More deliberate. Like someone was knocking just to watch him react. The next night, Daniel told himself it had to be his imagination. He put on a podcast, made a coffee, and tried to laugh at it. But around the same time, 1:20 a.m., the knocks returned. Only this time, they didn't stop at 3. They continued. Slow. Persistent. Uncomfortably rhythmic. Daniel said the worst part wasn't the sound. It was the silence between them. Like something was listening. Waiting. Memorizing him. He stood, walked to the door, and placed his trembling hand on the frame. It was ice cold. Colder than the night before. He backed away. Daniel told his supervisor, who brushed it off. "It's an old building. Don't overthink it." But Daniel wasn't convinced. So on night 3, he grabbed one of the old analog security cameras from storage. A bulky one used for inventory rooms. And propped it on a crate pointed at the basement door. He let it record all night. Nothing happened during the first 2 hours. But around 3 a.m., the camera picked something up. A shadow. Not cast by him. Not cast by the lights. It moved across the bottom of the door. Stretching unnaturally long. Like an arm. Or something dragging itself across the floor inside. The 4th night was the one that convinced him something alive was down there. The knocking came again. But this time, it was followed by something soft. Breathing. Wet, uneven breathing. Slow at first, then slightly faster. Like it was reacting to his movements. He leaned closer to the door, against his better judgment. and he swears he heard it whisper, "Down here!" He didn't run. He didn't scream. He simply froze, holding his breath until the breathing stopped. For the rest of the night, he kept all the lights on, staring at that door without blinking. On the fifth night, Daniel heard something new. Footsteps. Not normal ones. These were slow, dragging, uneven, like someone walking with an injured leg. They echoed faintly up the stairwell behind the basement door. The door rattled. Once. Then again. Daniel grabbed the only thing he had for protection. A rusty flashlight. He called out, "Who's down there?" No answer. Just the dragging footsteps slowly moving away. Then returning. Then stopping right behind the door. He said the silence after the footsteps stopped was worse than the sound itself. On the seventh night, something changed. There was no knocking. No breathing. No footsteps. For the first time in a week, Daniel felt a moment of relief. Until he heard a small metallic click. The padlock on the basement door. The one that wasn't supposed to open. Unlocked by itself. The handle turned. Slowly. Painfully slowly. Like someone on the other side was savoring the moment. Daniel backed away, flashlight shaking in his hand. He watched as the door opened. Just an inch. And cold air poured out like fog. He didn't wait to see what pushed it. He ran. Out the hallway. Out the lobby. Out of the building. He didn't stop until he reached his truck. He came back in the morning to grab his things. Sunlight made the building feel safe again, but it didn't last. The basement door was wide open. The padlock was on the floor, twisted and bent as if pried apart from the inside. Dust on the floor revealed something. Tracks leading down the stairs? Not footprints. Not animal tracks. Drag marks. Long, deep drag marks. Something moved down there recently. Daniel quit immediately. He said he still dreams of those nights. The knocking, the air turning cold. The breathing right behind the door. The handle turning on its own. He told me, "I don't know what was down there, but it knew my name." And every now and then, usually around the same time, 1:20 a.m., he hears a faint knocking in his house. Soft. Slow. Rhythmic. Just like before.